Welcome back. Most people would never give this Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency Cent a second glance, but experienced collectors know the smallest details can completely change the story. Let's take a closer look and uncover what makes certain authenticated examples stand out, while others remain just another penny. First coin. Few modern American coins have transformed an ordinary pocket change denomination into a four-part historical narrative quite like the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Cent. And among those four designs, the formative years reverse stands apart for the quiet determination it captures. Instead of presenting Abraham Lincoln as a president or military leader, this coin freezes a humble moment in Frontier, Indiana, showing a young Lincoln seated on a log, reading a book while taking a break from splitting timber. At first glance, it appears to be another common penny, but collectors know there is far more beneath the surface. Before this story is over, you'll discover what authenticated examples of this coin have actually sold for, why certain pieces command dramatically higher prices than others, and which characteristics professionals examine before assigning collector value to one of the most fascinating Lincoln cents of the modern era. The answers depend on far more than simply finding a coin dated 2009. The release of the Formative Years Cent marked one chapter in a remarkable commemorative program created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Rather than issuing a single redesigned reverse, the United States Mint honored different stages of Lincoln's life, with four separate designs released throughout the year. The Formative Years reverse represents Lincoln's adolescence in Indiana between 1816 and 1830, a period during which physical labor filled his days, while an intense curiosity drove him toward books whenever opportunities arose. The image reflects historical accounts describing Lincoln's relentless pursuit of knowledge despite limited formal education. During a time when the nation was recovering from the financial crisis of 2008 and Americans were looking toward resilience and renewal, the Mint's decision to commemorate perseverance through education carried symbolic weight. The coin became more than a circulating cent. It became a miniature historical lesson passing through millions of American hands. The reverse design was created by Richard Masters and sculpted by United States Mint sculptor-engraver Jim Licoretz. Every element was chosen carefully to tell a story without using excessive detail. Lincoln sits with an axe resting nearby, reminding viewers that hard physical work defined everyday survival on the frontier, while the open book emphasizes the lifelong habit of self-education that shaped his future. Surrounding the central image are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent, all balanced to maintain clarity despite the coin's small diameter. The familiar obverse portrait of Lincoln remained the Victor David Brenner design that has appeared on Lincoln cents since 1909, although subtle modifications over the decades produced the modern version seen in 2009. The initials VDB still appear discreetly on the shoulder truncation, connecting this bicentennial issue to more than a century of Lincoln cent history. Although collectors often focus on appearance, the physical specifications of the coin are equally important. The Formative Years Cent measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, weighs 2.5 grams, features a plain edge, and was struck on the modern copper-plated zinc planchet introduced in 1982. Beneath the thin outer layer of copper lies a core composed primarily of zinc, making the coin vulnerable to corrosion if the plating is damaged. The Philadelphia Mint produced examples without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint struck coins bearing the familiar D. In addition, specially struck proof versions carrying the S mint mark were produced at the San Francisco Mint for collector proof sets. The Mint also issued special collector versions struck in the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper, reviving the composition used for Lincoln cents before 1982. These bronze collector issues occupy an important niche because they differ significantly from the coins released into everyday circulation. Production totals reached into the hundreds of millions, meaning the Formative Years Cent is not rare simply because of its date. Philadelphia struck well over 376 million circulation pieces, while Denver produced more than 363 million. Those enormous mintages explain why worn examples found in circulation generally carry little premium over face value. The story changes dramatically, however, once condition enters the equation. Modern coins circulate quickly, picking up contact marks, abrasions, dull luster, and discoloration almost immediately after leaving mint bags. Coins that somehow escaped circulation with virtually flawless surfaces became increasingly desirable as collectors sought the finest certified examples. Even though millions were made, only a tiny fraction survived in elite condition, capable of competing for the highest registry rankings established by professional grading services. This distinction between common and exceptional examples explains why collectors pay close attention to grading standards established by leading authentication companies. A heavily circulated formative years cent may exhibit flattened details, dark surfaces, and numerous scratches, while an uncirculated mint state coin retains full mint luster and sharp design elements. Professionals evaluate strike quality, surface preservation, eye appeal, and overall originality before assigning grades ranging from MS-60 through the coveted MS-70. Collectors also classify Lincoln cents by color designation. Brown pieces have lost most of their original red mint color. Red-brown coins retain a mixture of original brilliance and tunning, while fully red examples preserve nearly all of the vibrant copper appearance present when the coin was struck. A blazing red coin graded MS-68 or better is dramatically scarcer than an ordinary circulated specimen, and that scarcity directly influences collector demand. Market performance reflects these grading realities rather than simple age. Attractive certified mint state red examples often trade for modest premiums, but truly elite coins occupy a different category altogether. An authenticated MS-68 red circulation strike from one mint has realized around $1,350 in the competitive collector market, while another superb certified example with exceptional eye appeal has approached approximately $2,400 when registry collectors competed for ownership. These results should never be interpreted as typical values for every 2009 formative years cent. They represent coins that combine outstanding preservation, professional authentication, and limited surviving populations at those lofty grades. Ordinary circulated coins or lower mint state examples generally sell for far less, reinforcing the principle that condition and certification matter far more than the date alone. Modern Lincoln cents also attract attention because of mint errors and die varieties, and the formative years issue is no exception. Collectors carefully inspect coins for off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, retained cuds, doubled dies, and dramatic die chips that develop during production. Genuine mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and are authenticated through detailed examination, making them distinctly different from damage caused after the coin entered circulation. Certain spectacular error coins have generated remarkable auction interest because every verified piece is effectively unique. In isolated cases, authenticated major errors on this design have exceeded $4,000 at public auction, but those extraordinary results belong to unusual production mistakes verified by respected grading companies. They should never be confused with normal circulation coins that merely display wear, scratches, environmental damage, or altered surfaces. Because collector premiums can be substantial for top-quality pieces and legitimate errors, authentication has become increasingly important. Experienced numismatists begin with careful visual examination under proper lighting, checking the weight, diameter, edge, lettering, plating quality, and overall fabric of the coin against official mint specifications. Counterfeits of modern cents are less common than famous key dates, yet altered mint marks, manipulated surfaces, and fabricated error coins occasionally appear in the marketplace. Professional certification from organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company provides independent verification of authenticity, grade, and any recognized variety or mint error. Collectors should also avoid cleaning coins, since polishing or abrasive treatment permanently alters original surfaces and frequently reduces market value, even when the coin initially appears brighter afterward. Long-term preservation plays a surprisingly large role in maintaining future collector value. Copper-plated zinc cents are particularly sensitive to moisture, fingerprints, airborne contaminants, and temperature fluctuations. Oils from bare hands can initiate discoloration, while damaged plating may allow corrosion to attack the zinc core beneath the copper surface. Serious collectors therefore handle coins only by the edges and store them in inert holders, archival quality flips, capsules, or professionally encapsulated grading holders. Stable humidity, moderate temperatures, and protection from PVC-containing plastics help preserve original color and luster over time. As more pristine examples gradually acquire spots, stains, or contact marks through improper storage, untouched specimens become relatively scarcer, strengthening demand for coins that retain their original mint appearance decades after production. The enduring appeal of the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Formative Years Cent comes from the way it blends history, artistry, and modern collecting into a single small object. It reminds viewers that one of America's most influential presidents was once a young man balancing exhausting frontier labor with an extraordinary hunger for knowledge, and that message continues to resonate with collectors around the world. From its carefully researched historical symbolism and distinctive reverse design to its multiple mint issues, bronze collector versions, elite mint state survivors, and occasional spectacular mint errors, this coin offers far more depth than its 1-cent denomination suggests. While most examples remain inexpensive keepsakes, authenticated high-grade pieces and verified error coins demonstrate that rarity is created not by age alone, but by preservation, quality, and genuine scarcity. For that reason, every 2009 Formative Years Cent deserves a careful examination, because only a thorough evaluation of authenticity, condition, and collector demand can reveal whether an ordinary-looking penny is simply another circulating coin or a noteworthy addition to a serious numismatic collection. Next coin. Among the 4 reverse designs released for the Lincoln Bicentennial Cent in 2009, none captures the transition from humble beginnings to national prominence more powerfully than the professional life design. At first glance, it appears to be just another modern penny, yet collectors have steadily elevated certain examples into highly desirable modern numismatic treasures. The image tells the story of Abraham Lincoln before the presidency, when he built his reputation as a respected attorney and public servant in Illinois, and it represents the final chapter of the bicentennial series before the permanent Union Shield reverse debuted the following year. What makes this seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin especially fascinating is that not every example is viewed the same way by collectors. As this story unfolds, you'll discover why some authenticated specimens command remarkable premiums, while countless others remain ordinary circulation pieces, and you'll see how experts determine whether a coin deserves serious attention in today's collector market. The release of this coin celebrated the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, an event recognized across the United States through numerous educational and commemorative programs. Congress authorized the 4-coin bicentennial series to portray defining stages of Lincoln's remarkable journey, allowing Americans to follow his life from a Kentucky log cabin to the threshold of the White House. The professional life reverse focuses on the years Lincoln spent in Springfield, Illinois, where he practiced law, debated important legal questions, served in politics, and gradually developed the leadership skills that would later guide the nation through its greatest constitutional crisis. The timing of the coin's release also coincided with a difficult economic period following the financial crisis of 2008, when the United States was emerging from recession. In many ways, honoring Lincoln's perseverance, integrity, and commitment to public service resonated strongly during a period when Americans were searching for confidence and stability in uncertain times. The reverse artwork was designed by Joel Iskovitz and sculpted by United States Mint sculptor-engraver Don Everhart. Rather than portraying Lincoln in dramatic fashion, the design presents him standing confidently before the Illinois State Capitol in Springfield, symbolizing the professional accomplishments that prepared him for national leadership. The composition emphasizes balance and restraint, reflecting the dignity associated with Lincoln's legal career instead of military triumph or presidential authority. The inscriptions United States of America, 1 cent, and E pluribus unum frame the reverse without distracting from its historical narrative. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln remains unchanged, preserving a design first introduced in 1909. The familiar initials, VDB, continue to appear discreetly on the shoulder truncation, linking this commemorative issue with more than a century of Lincoln cent tradition, while reminding collectors that the Bicentennial series celebrated an already legendary American coin. Although its appearance differs from earlier Lincoln cents, the professional life issue retains the standard physical specifications of modern circulating cents. Each circulation strike weighs 2.5 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and features a smooth, plain edge rather than a reeded one. The composition consists of a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, a format adopted in 1982 to reduce production costs while maintaining the familiar appearance of the cent. Coins without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, while pieces carrying the D Mint mark originated at the Denver Mint. Collectors could also obtain proof examples bearing the S Mint mark from the San Francisco Mint through official proof sets. In addition, the Mint produced special collector editions struck in the traditional bronze alloy, containing 95% copper, recreating the metallic composition associated with earlier generations of Lincoln cents, and giving specialists another important variety to pursue. Production numbers reveal that this was never intended to be a scarce circulation coin. Philadelphia struck well over 316 million professional life cents for commerce, while Denver contributed more than 336 million additional pieces. Those figures ensured widespread circulation across the country, allowing millions of Americans to encounter the final bicentennial reverse in everyday transactions. Yet high mintage alone does not guarantee abundant collectible examples decades later. Modern cents are especially vulnerable to contact marks because they travel in large canvas bags and rolling equipment before entering circulation. Even coins that never reached circulation often acquired abrasions from striking against one another during transportation. As a result, examples displaying pristine surfaces, razor-sharp strikes, vibrant original color, and virtually flawless preservation became far less common than the raw production totals might suggest, creating an important distinction between ordinary survivors and elite collector-grade pieces. Professional grading companies play a critical role in identifying those exceptional coins. Specialists examine every surface under magnification, evaluating strike sharpness, luster, contact marks, eye appeal, and originality before assigning a mint state grade. Lincoln cents also receive color designations that significantly influence value. Brown examples have lost most of their original mint brilliance through oxidation. Red-brown coins retain a combination of original color and natural toning, while red examples preserve nearly all of their bright copper appearance. Collectors assembling top-ranked registry sets compete intensely for fully red coins certified in the highest mint state grades, because only a very small percentage survive with nearly perfect preservation. Tiny imperfections that would seem insignificant to casual observers can separate an MS-66 coin from an MS-68 example, and those seemingly minor differences often have an enormous impact on collector demand. That reality becomes evident when examining the marketplace. Typical circulated examples remain inexpensive because millions still exist, but authenticated coins occupying the uppermost grading tiers tell an entirely different story. Certified mint state red examples with outstanding eye appeal and superior surface preservation have realized approximately $1,180 in competitive sales, while even finer registry-quality pieces have approached around $2,760 when advanced collectors pursued the same population rarity. These values are not assigned simply because the coin carries the date 2009 or displays the professional life design. They reflect the combined importance of certification, originality, exceptional preservation, strong strike quality, and sustained collector competition. Market prices also fluctuate over time as additional high-grade examples are discovered or as registry participants increase demand for the finest available specimens. Beyond condition rarity, collectors also search carefully for genuine mint errors and recognize die varieties associated with this issue. Like other modern Lincoln cents, authenticated examples have been found with off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and occasional double die characteristics that develop during die preparation or production. However, dramatic errors remain genuinely uncommon compared with the enormous number of normal coins produced. Because online misinformation often exaggerates the significance of damaged coins, professional authentication is essential before assigning any premium. Coins showing post-mint damage, environmental corrosion, machine doubling, or intentional alterations should never be mistaken for valuable mint errors. On the other hand, major authenticated production errors certified by respected grading services have achieved auction prices exceeding $3,900 in isolated cases, though those extraordinary realizations apply only to rare, verified pieces rather than ordinary circulation strikes. Authentication has therefore become one of the most important steps for serious collectors. Experts compare a coin's weight, diameter, metallic characteristics, lettering, surface texture, and strike quality with official mint specifications, while also evaluating whether the color and luster appear natural. Altered coins occasionally surface with artificially enhanced surfaces or fabricated error characteristics intended to deceive inexperienced buyers. Although outright counterfeits of this modern cent are considerably less common than famous early American rarities, deceptive modifications can still mislead collectors who rely solely on photographs. Certification through respected organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company provides independent verification of authenticity, grade, and any recognized variety. Their tamper-resistant holders also offer long-term protection while giving buyers greater confidence in the coin's identity and marketability. Preservation ultimately determines whether a modern collectible continues to appreciate in desirability or gradually loses its appeal. Because the circulating version consists primarily of zinc beneath a thin copper coating, even minor scratches that penetrate the plating may expose the underlying metal to corrosion. Fingerprints can permanently stain brilliant surfaces, while excessive humidity accelerates deterioration. Experienced collectors handle cents only by the edges and store them in inert capsules, archival quality holders, or professionally sealed certification holders that minimize environmental exposure. Cleaning should always be avoided, regardless of how dull a coin may appear, because abrasive polishing permanently destroys original mint surfaces and almost always reduces collector value. As years pass and more surviving examples develop discoloration or mishandling, naturally preserved coins become increasingly desirable to collectors who value originality above artificial brightness. The enduring fascination surrounding the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Professional Life Cent extends far beyond its face value because it captures the defining moment when Abraham Lincoln evolved from an ambitious frontier lawyer into a national figure whose ideas would reshape American history. Every detail, from Joel Iskowitz's thoughtful composition to the careful engraving by Don Everhart, reflects that transformation with remarkable subtlety. At the same time, the coin has earned an important place in modern numismatics through its connection to the bicentennial program, its multiple mint issues, its special bronze collector versions, its condition rarity in the highest grades, and the occasional authenticated mint error that excites specialists. while the overwhelming majority remain affordable historical keepsakes. A select group of professionally authenticated, exceptionally preserved examples continues to attract determined competition from advanced collectors. Their success demonstrates a timeless truth within numismatics. Genuine rarity is not created by age alone, but by the rare combination of historical significance, preservation, originality, certified quality, and sustained demand from collectors who recognize excellence when they see it. Next coin. At first glance, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Cent featuring the presidency in Washington, D.C. reverse seems almost impossible to distinguish from countless other modern pennies that have passed through cash registers, piggy banks, and pockets across America. Yet experienced collectors rarely dismiss this coin with a casual glance. Instead, they slow down, rotate it under a light, and begin looking for details that most people never notice. Why has such an ordinary-looking cent attracted sustained interest from serious numismatists? The answer is not simply its date, nor is it the fact that it honors Abraham Lincoln. As we examine this coin together, you'll discover why certain authenticated examples have become especially desirable, what separates an average survivor from an exceptional one, and why only a small fraction of these Denver Mint cents have reached the levels of quality that advanced collectors actively pursue. The investigation begins with the reason this design exists at all. During 2009, the United States Mint celebrated the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth by replacing the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse with 4 different designs, each illustrating a significant chapter of his life. The presidency in Washington, D.C. reverse represented the final installment in that commemorative series, symbolizing Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War while serving in the nation's capital. Released only months before the permanent Union Shield reverse debuted in 2010, this design effectively closed one chapter of the Lincoln cent's long history while opening another. Its introduction also came during a period when the United States was recovering from the financial crisis of 2008. As the nation faced economic uncertainty, the image of Lincoln's unfinished Capitol quietly reminded Americans that the country had overcome immense challenges before, adding another layer of historical meaning beyond simple commemoration. Now turn your attention to the reverse itself. Designed by Susan Gamble and sculpted by United States Mint sculptor engraver Joseph Menna, the scene depicts the partially completed dome of the United States Capitol exactly as it appeared during Lincoln's presidency. Construction continued even while the Civil War divided the nation, making the unfinished dome a powerful symbol of perseverance and national unity. The decision to portray the Capitol before its completion was deliberate. Rather than celebrating only the finished result, the design emphasizes determination during adversity, reflecting Lincoln's belief that the Union itself remained a work in progress worth preserving. Surrounding the image are the familiar inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent, while Victor David Brenner's enduring portrait of Lincoln remains on the obverse, linking this special issue to the century-long Lincoln cent tradition that began in 1909. Before discussing rarity, experienced collectors first verify the physical characteristics that every genuine circulation strike should possess. The 2009 Presidency Cent was struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used for circulating Lincoln cents since 1982. Each coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain, smooth edge rather than a reeded one. The D Mint mark beneath the date identifies production at the Denver Mint, one of the 2 facilities responsible for striking circulation versions of the Bicentennial series. Unlike the collector-proof versions struck at San Francisco with an S Mint mark, Denver coins were manufactured for everyday commerce using high-speed production methods. The Mint also issued special collector editions struck in the traditional 95% copper alloy. But those bronze pieces were sold directly to collectors rather than released into circulation, making it important to distinguish between the different versions before evaluating any example. The next clue lies in production totals. Denver struck more than 198 million examples of the presidency reverse, a substantial mintage that ensured widespread circulation throughout the country. At first, those numbers might suggest there is nothing especially collectible about the coin. Yet seasoned numismatists know that mintage alone tells only part of the story. Modern cents are particularly susceptible to bag marks because freshly struck coins collide with one another during transport from coining presses to storage containers. Many entered circulation with tiny nicks already present, and years of commerce introduced additional scratches, dulling, and discoloration. Consequently, the number of coins surviving today with pristine surfaces, vibrant original luster, and virtually flawless preservation is dramatically lower than the original production figure would imply. This gap between total mintage and surviving elite condition examples forms one of the foundations of collector demand. With the basic facts established, the examination becomes much more detailed. Professional graders begin by studying strike quality, looking closely at Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the Capitol dome, the lettering, and the smallest architectural details. Weakly struck coins may show softness even before circulation wear develops, while sharply struck examples display crisp design elements that immediately stand out under magnification. Surface preservation follows closely behind. Every contact mark, abrasion, or fingerprint affects a coin's visual appeal. Original mint luster, produced by microscopic flow lines during striking, should rotate smoothly beneath a light when the coin is tilted. Lincoln cents also receive color classifications because copper gradually changes over time. Brown examples have largely toned, red-brown pieces retain a mixture of original brilliance and oxidation, while fully red coins preserve nearly all of their original mint color. Collectors pursuing the highest registry rankings overwhelmingly favor certified red examples because they represent the finest state of preservation. Only after those characteristics have been evaluated does market value begin to make sense. Most circulated 2009 Presidency cents remain inexpensive because their large mintage and everyday use left countless worn survivors. The situation changes considerably when a coin combines exceptional preservation with professional certification. Authenticated mint, state red examples at the upper end of the grading scale have realized approximately $1,420 in competitive sales, while even finer certified pieces have approached nearly $2,980 when registry collectors sought examples with superior eye appeal and limited certified populations. These prices do not apply to every coin carrying the 2009 date and Denver Mint mark. They reflect coins whose originality, strike, luster, certification, and scarcity within the highest grade categories distinguish them from millions of ordinary circulation pieces. Our investigation would be incomplete without examining the possibility of genuine mint errors, an area that often generates both excitement and misunderstanding. The Denver Mint produced occasional legitimate errors during normal manufacturing, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. Less frequently, specialists encounter double die varieties or other production anomalies that require careful authentication. However, many damaged coins found in circulation are mistakenly described as rare errors despite showing only post-mint abuse, environmental corrosion, or mechanical damage. Experienced collectors rely on magnification, comparison with documented varieties, and certification from respected grading services before assigning any premium. Verified major mint errors associated with this design have, in isolated cases, brought auction realizations exceeding $3,500, but those exceptional results belong only to authenticated production mistakes and should never be interpreted as the value of ordinary Denver circulation strikes. Authentication itself has become an essential part of modern collecting because even common coins can be altered in deceptive ways. Specialists confirm a coin's weight, diameter, metallic composition, lettering, edge, and overall appearance before evaluating its grade. Artificially enhanced surfaces, fabricated errors, and altered mint marks occasionally appear in the marketplace, particularly in online sales where photographs may conceal important details. Although outright counterfeits of this specific modern cent are relatively uncommon compared with famous 19th-century rarities, deceptive modifications remain a legitimate concern. Professional certification through organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company provides confidence that a coin has been independently examined for authenticity, grade, and recognized varieties. Their encapsulated holders also protect delicate surfaces from further handling, an important advantage for collectors assembling long-term collections. As the investigation reaches its final stage, one conclusion becomes unmistakably clear. The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency Cent is not important because every example is rare or highly valuable. Its significance comes from the combination of historical symbolism, limited one-year reverse design, modern collector enthusiasm, and the remarkable difficulty of finding truly outstanding survivors decades after they left the Denver Mint. Every serious collector learns to study the date, mint mark, strike, color, luster, lettering, architectural detail, and overall eye appeal before making any judgment about desirability. Proper storage in inert holders, careful handling by the edges, and avoiding any attempt to clean the coin help preserve the originality that advanced collectors prize most. In the end, this investigation reveals that the greatest treasures in modern numismatics are often hidden not by mystery, but by familiarity, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize the subtle qualities that transform an everyday cent into a genuinely collectible piece of American history.